Hello, visionary entrepreneurs, life changers. How are you? Welcome back to our Momentum Monday. We're now live inside of our Facebook group, Abundant Entrepreneurs. Now we've been doing this. Today is our 181 episode. Let's talk about where is your unfailing, unfalling sun. Actually, now where I'm doing this, outside it's purely dark. And today I'm a little bit behind the schedule because of other events arrangement. But the question I want to ask you, when I was like now it's also autumn time, right? It's getting too closer to winter time, so you can obviously feel like cold. Depends on your location, obviously. I'm now inside of a New York City, so I could see that now it's fall, it's beautiful outside, all the falling leaves and yellow leaves, the different colors, right? The red, the yellow, brown, but at the same time you can obviously feel like it's the coldness, and we are adding clothes, and the home is now trying to keep more warmth, but at the same time you feel like a cold and outside is dark. The seasons transition, right? Many people, maybe if you are quite a sensitive people person, you may feel that kind of a transition, the seasonal transition sometimes, right? Like observed people are more, maybe scientifically they could prove that people are more, let's say, positive or optimistic or feel more cheerful when they are in a warmer place, but not a super hot place, right? But a warmer place. By the way, that's an interesting thing. Maybe like why African people are very happy because they get enough sunlights, right? And when people, for example, move from New York to California, normally they are happier. Well, I remember one of my friends, she moved her whole family from Chicago to California. They are cheerful, happier, and you see that's see really like our human beings for so long time, right? Like maybe let's say hundreds of thousands of thousands of years. I would say that long time, and we have we've been surviving and thriving around the sun, right? Sun, like in old time, in ancient time, is like it's like let's say like a tattoo kind of things. Like people worship sun, right? And if without sun, and people feel they will have a darkness, will have fears, right? All those kind of superstitions developed from those darkness time, right? Like all those kind of a corner stuff without the sun around. So the sun is super important, and also biologically, naturally, right, by a natural law. And the sun is super important for our lives, for all the lives, not just human lives, right? All the like animals and plants and everything in the universe, I would say, and including those tiny ones where our eyesight could not see, right? Our human eyesight could not see, or our including those ones like lives deep down, like I know they said like thousands of meters under in the sea, they still actually even though they barely have any kind of sunlight, they still depending on some kind of like a eco coexistence, right? Like from like some exchanging some I could not remember the scientific details, but it's just exchanging with those ones who that get nutrition, get the lives from the sunlight. So that's so super like I know from long scientist persons, right? It's like a quite mysterious, but from a coaching angle, we would say like the sun is actually a token. It's also like a symbol for what? For last week we were talking about the energy, right? Abundance, energy, abundance code. But today we want to focus more on the believing system part. And so I want to share first, like ask those questions, like when you either it's like naturally you feel like you need more sunlight, or like in your life and in your business, maybe you have quite some challenges, difficulties. Do you have, for example, those uncertain and doubting time in yourself and in the opportunities, right? In the outside world as well. And now, especially today, actually, it's quite meaningful. Today, uh, today is November 4th. Actually, tomorrow is the eve of tomorrow will be the formal in the US presidential election day, right? It's a quite critical time and will be historical time. And the two parties has been fighting for so long time, and tomorrow we will see the results. And so many people have the uncertainty, right? And so many people, including teenagers, I know that they have that kind of fears. They are not sure about how the world will will keep going, right? Because there's such a big division between the two parties and the different believing system, different like say strategies, different all this kind of proposals, right? And nobody knows now, even the best estimate and include those betting company, whatever, people are just guessing, trying to predict, right? Nobody can really predict. Everybody's trying to predict what will be the result of the presidential election, so we will see. But so today's topic is definitely very meaningful because we're talking about whatever is changing there, right? Is your sun still unfalling? Because the outside could be dark, naturally dark, and also could be politically, socially, right? Don't know, whatever things could change, including like, for example, a few years ago, pandemic, that kind of time, right? It's big fears and big death rates, and also like such kind of big uncertainty, right? Most people, I would say, including the scientists, they had some kind of a panic time, right? Try to how to save people's lives. So and natural disasters now, global warming is becoming more and more like obvious, right? We can really in the city can feel that the season totally changed, even though now it's colder, much colder than previously, but compared with other historical time in the New York City, it's still much warmer because it's now already November and still feel like in the early fall, right? Occasional days could be like in the spring or even in the summertime. So all this kind of uncertainty, and now plus AI, right? All this kind of thing. And I would say that especially for our young generations, so many uncertainties, so many challenges. How many of you would you raise your hand or comment under video to be honest that you feel uncertainty? You feel kind of a fears, right? And about especially people in the US now facing the election, and they are afraid of there will be violent things happen, right? Because of the results, and the different people want to get their own expected results. If they're not getting it, maybe it will be like previous times or some like violent things, and we do not want any people to go to Congress and want to occupy the Congress or whatever to protest, right, or to be against the results if they did not get what they expect. So all the people had, and now I heard the news, read another news, like many people, especially rich people in the US now, is trying to either like migrate or let's say immigrate, right? Or it's like trying to get extra double or some maybe triple or different kind of citizenship or let's say countries, kind of a passport, so that they could have backup plans. They can move to overseas to other place they think will be more peaceful, right? So now we're in this kind of era, critical, uncertain, a lot of challenges and difficulties, right? So are you honestly that you feel sometimes quite kind of uncertain, even fearful? And for us as entrepreneurs especially, and if you are still like say trying to create things you want, you love, but you meet so many challenges and difficulties and frustrations, you feel like uncertain and you feel like a failure sometimes, right? And you feel a majority of time you are not understood by by people, right? By people around you, including your closed ones. If you have not get what you want to achieve, if you have not become the really the person you think you deserve, right? And people around you, far or near, they could have misunderstanding of you. Do you feel sometimes like lonely and that kind of a frustration and fearful, right? Just I would use this session, this opportunity for us to have an honest conversation with yourself and with us, right? I want to facilitate that kind of way, especially for people, right? Including not just in business, in life, for example, emotionally, right? And your marriage, your family, there are many uncertainty as well. For example, I've been struggling with my marriage because I could not change the other person. I could only change myself, right? So that part I could not decide. But then, like for example, my son grew up and he went to the college and live far away from home, and that's a lot of part of uncertainty. And my daughter is now getting to her time to prepare and apply for the colleges, so it's a more uncertainty, right? And my business has great opportunities, but at the same time, many challenges and uncertainties as well, right? So it's like we're handling all these things. I believe it's just like I'm just a one typical kind of a case, right? I believe you have some similar different types of maybe different types, but we all have our own ounce of challenges, right? Do you feel very uncertain, like life is not easy, as long as you're not giving up yet, right? I know many people maybe say, oh, I just want my life easier. And when people get to my age, I know that in China people are already talking a lot about retirement, right? So they just do not want to bother themselves too much. They say, oh, at this age, I've already got enough of life. I just want to be relaxed. I do not want to specifically want anything more, right? It's just like it's a pity to see that many people are just let their dreams die out. Just like they do not want to take too much troubles or too much energy and to pursue what they used to be pursuing when they were young, right? And it's just like, in other words, people are just like a compromise to lives, right? And it's just live day by day as it is and do not want to even challenge themselves to think more and want more and pursue more, right? So how many of you are at this stage? I'm just curious, right? That's sometimes does not just to be related to biological age. I know some people, right, just not so many, but when they get into their even like 70s and 80s, they're still very active. I know my mom is a great example. She's still like a dancing, singing, and very actively engaged into community activities. That's a great example, right? But for personal pursuit, I'm wondering, how many of you still remember or are still pursuing your dreams, your big dreams, your big visions, if you ever had it? And how many of you are like feeling like you are giving up to life? Just be honest. It's totally fine. I could understand because we all either have already went through so much, right? Or are still like going through a lot. So today I just want first to let everybody to have this honest time to not really like release, but to really be honest, to face it, to be conscious about it, right? Be conscious about it. So like I said, if you're not understood by others, that could be many, right? Even like sometimes I feel like my sister, we were born by the same parents. I totally feel like we have, because we grew up and we have different, I feel like we have different genes. It's even like maybe from I just learned a new science, the epigenetics. Even though the basic genes the same, but the expression is different because our growing up environment, and also some other things are different, like a mindset, and then later what we pursue, and then what we talk, right? It's totally different. Sometimes why I was thinking, like, are we really from the same parents, right? It's very interesting. So or when you are lonely and feel like fearful, like I said, facing the election days, you're not sure how this country is going, right? Many people are losing some kind of hope for this. Like this used to be a great country, like US, right? And I came from China, immigrated from China. I know that China is also a great country. Even though like I know US is much shorter history, and China is thousands of years of history, right? It's like but both sides have their own challenges and uncertainties, right? But good things, like both sides still have their like great advantages. But I hope many I know the Asian people, and especially Chinese Americans, they are praying and they are wishing that these two countries will not really fight with each other, right? Because they are now become the two biggest competitive like you would say like a competitive ones, the countries in this whole world, right? And of course the interests will have some conflicts, and also the culture, the value system, everything, they're different. So many uncertainties, right? And also especially that's outside. When I talk outside, but the inside you also, because of the lives, because we're not like isolated, we're all influenced by our environment as well, right? Depending on our growing environment, we are all like impacted here. So are you also feeling that kind of uncertain in both in yourself and in the environment, in the whole world, the trend? And that's why sometimes I was joking, because Elon Musk has already lost the hope for human beings on the earth. So that's why he's so crazy and want to go to Mars. That's okay. That's his fantasy. And but it proves that like our human beings are having so many challenges, right? And because of resources, because of like global warming, all this kind of environment things and other things, and people will naturally have some kind of a fantasy and dreams and a vision to want to have build up a better place outside of our Earth. Hopefully, right? Someday, if we can find another planet in the universe that could be, I hope will be similar or even better than the Earth, we can find it, and our human beings could be saved like another, like I say, Noah's time, right? The era we get to be the oak, like an oak of Noah's time. Like we could be all saved to another place. But so far, I still think I would love to stay on our earth and to protect and hope and to really protect and sustain our earth, right? So honestly, comment under the video. Let me know what is your current the biggest uncertainty and challenges and fear. Do you have any fear or maybe like a frustration about which part is that? Either it's like in your own life or like in your family life or maybe in a bigger environment, right? Societies, anything. It's totally fine to just share with us, right? And but more now important thing is today, that's here, our purpose here is to learn about, I call the 4 belief system. So this will help you never give up, no matter what is going on, inside and outside, right? I know a lot of things inside as well. Every day is like saying that, oh, you should give up, you should quit, oh, you're not good enough, right? All these kind of negative things, and also negative things outside, right? But how this 4 belief system will help you to strengthen yourself, right? Your mindset and what you have inside of yourself, and never give up, and also even become invincible with your unfalling and also everlasting sun. Okay, are you ready? So let's share those 4 belief systems. Starting first one is, all these are like by conscious, okay, step by step with your consciousness going to a deeper level. So the number one is really believing yourself. Do you believe in yourself? How much? I was just wondering. Can we measure? Maybe, right? From 1 to 10. The 10 is the fully believe in yourself. How much is there? Can you honestly give yourself a rating? How much you believe in yourself? I actually, before I share mine, I'm just curious about yours. And I would say like majority time I believe in myself. 10 and above. 10 and above. Do we have a number? Yeah, 10 and above. I know sometimes maybe I over believe in myself, and I will get some trouble with other people who do not believe in me, right? Like this, oh, they use a society's standard, think like you are not, you maybe not, including maybe being my husband. Normally the close one to you, they would think, oh, they expect more from you. They think you are not as successful as they want, and maybe their interest will shift to other place, right? So you never know. But that's funny. Okay, I know if you're facing your kids, sometimes you also have that trouble. You fully believe yourself, but your close ones maybe do not fully believe in you, right? Your kids think, oh, you could be that. Like even my daughter will say, oh, you're not pretty, you are old, you're just an Asian woman, and you will not be so successful, something like that, right? But I know it's not she's trying to curse me. I know that bottom in her heart, she wants me to be successful, but because of the environment, including the social media, right? And every day they're looking at for example, TikTok, Instagram, those popular ones with millions of people, and also like hundreds of thousands of people, right? Following them. They get that social standards, like they know that, oh, those younger, prettier, sexier ones will be more popular, get more attention, and you will not be successful, something like that, right? So I do not blame her. Totally understandable, totally understandable. So when people are, including your close ones, are like that, how could you handle that? So you need to have a very strong believing, self-believing system, right? Really believe in yourself. I thank God. Maybe I was born as an optimistic person, and then also I had a very great childhood. Even though later, after when I was living my hometown and going to college, my family had a big change. My parents divorced, right? So that's a disaster, big disaster. That's a first life crisis in my life, like believing system crisis in my life. So I started to not believe in marriage, do not believe in life itself, right? I do not believe in parents, especially my dad, because he had affair outside and he divorced my mom. So all those kind of struggling, like youth time, I had big doubts in my system. I did not know where to go, right? It's just like suddenly I lost my father and also lost my family. It's just now when I went back home, there's no family anymore. I feel like only my mom suffering there, and I had to be the one stronger person to console her and to emotionally support her, because most times she's like tearing, she's like suffering, she's just like a victim kind of a mindset, right? So it's like I had to be there to support my mother. From outside I looked very strong, but inside I always become stronger than before, but it's also I had a lot of doubts and strugglings as well. And thank God. So that's the second one we will talk about. But the first I want actually the first one I want to further talk is about believing yourself, how you can believe in yourself still, even though I'm not like 100%, right? Sometimes even though I have 10 or beyond, but there are times now, maybe much less than before, I doubt myself. I'm not good enough. And I'm not, for example, I'm not, let's say, fortunate enough. I would say I'm not a God favored child. And I feel like, oh, some other people are so luckier. I'm not lucky. I would say most of like that. I would most time, but that's actually also positive side. One is like I still believe in myself. I have the capability. I have the talents. I was not lucky. So I did not meet the best opportunities. I did not get a fever. So I did not get what I really want, right? So that's a still good sign. I believe in myself. So maybe through the childhood, I had a lot of affirmation from myself and also from my outside environment, because I did my best efforts and I became the like top ones in the school, and my parents believed in that time, so they did not manage me too much. They just nurture, support me, and I had been that kind of a like young master in my own life. I decide whatever I want to do, everything. It's very kind of a self-disciplined. So I had an experience from that, and also had a good early, let's say, study career experience. So I have a lot of self belief. But most then later I reflect, it's not just from that. I now think that I believe in myself more from the person who I am and how I live my life. I'm a person who keep my promise. It keep majority time I would say I do not, like for example, my maybe still I have some like habits, especially on sleeping habits. I promise myself I go to sleep earlier. Many times I still could not do it because so many things to handle. So that part I'm not so good. But all other things I keep the promise to myself, to others, and I'm even super really, like I would say, I'm a super nice and kind person. I always want to help other people, right? So always go out my extra miles to help other people, and also I can easily forgive other people, and even those people, other people can easily take as enemies, right? Who hurt me, I still give them, very generously give them, and I very generously give my love and support to them. So for that part, I really believe in myself. I know that I'm a great person, and I'm like a person who has that kind of a great values inside myself, and I can majority time, right, keep my promise to myself, and especially I never lose my promise to other people. If I give my promise, I always deliver or like over deliver, right? So for that part, I think I have a full trust in myself, and I never I should not say never lie, right? I have white lies, but I'm always like have that kind of never do that kind of evil things to any other people, right? So that's super important. When you have this kind of belief in yourself, that's the first components of your unfolding sun, right? This is just like now this four belief system. If you can think, it's like with the sun, you have the quadruples, right? Quadruples, and you put like a one belief in one part, and now we have one piece, and then we will put the puzzles into a full picture, if you can imagine that. and for the sun to have the full radiation and the lights, right, and have the full function. And now the second part is really believe in what you believe in. This is like, in other words, it's actually your faith and your value, your core value system. The faith, what you believe in, right? I'm happy that I initially, like, when I was in the most doubting time, the young time, I was struggling, like, whatever, like the whole world is like strange to me now, right? With my parents separated and the value system, the family, marriage, everything, it's just crashed. And now I was searching for what I can believe in, right? And during that time, the religion, the very nice Christian people into my life, I would say, thank God, right? All these kind of things integrate together. And initially, I believed in Christianity, and especially because I believe in those people. Actually, eventually, when I later stage, I get into spirituality instead of religion, right? I found out that I actually believed in those values, those qualities and behaviors, like God said, the fruits, right, from people, instead of just like religion, instead of just like a Bible or whatever, describe it into it, right? So I look at those qualities from those people and to see if they have the real fruits of their beliefs. Doesn't matter eventually, doesn't matter whatever kind of a religion they have. Either like I have friends, good friends from like they have a Buddhism, right? I have a family members that they believe in either Christianity or Buddhism or maybe other like a religion or even like a non-religion at all, right? Majority Chinese people have a non-religion. They are not non-religion, they are philosophical. But it's still okay, right? Doesn't matter whatever you believe in, but because you believe in something, be if you are really believing the majority of the truth. I would say nobody's perfect, right? Nobody can really get all the truth. So, but as long as what you, the major part you believe in are great, a greatness part, are like a truth part, and also like a related to love and like a kindness and like a trust and support to others, right? Right? Always like treat your neighbors as how you would be treated, that kind of a way, right? So that's like a general, universal truth and values, right? We want to have. So as long as you have that kind of a believing system, I would say you're great, right? I would like to say you have that part, but I would encourage you to build more, build stronger part, because many people, if they do not have a strong faith system, they can easily waver in the life and in the different situations, right? Especially now, the political situations, political elections, like two parties are fighting with each other, and people's value system and faith could be easily influenced and impacted. And that's very special. You want to discover and be generous to each other, be kind. Here, especially on the eve of presidential election, I want to encourage everybody, no matter whatever kind of a political view you have or which party you support, and whatever religions and faiths you have, right? I would encourage you all focus on the true values we all want to value, the true things that we want to be treated, and we want to treat other people as well, right? So we are all neighbors. Doesn't matter where we are, each party you're in or which religion you are in, we are all neighbors. We are all like a whole one family. We're on the same planet. No matter if you go to Mars or any other further planet, we're still in the same universe. Okay, we're still human beings. All right. So we are just like we are in the same family. And you want to treat each other as you want to be treated. Doesn't matter whatever people believe in or they're voting for. You want to respect each other's own opinion and still be peaceful no matter what's the result of the presidential election. You do not want to have a fear, right? And you do not want other people to live in fear. And you want to have that peace. Okay, you want to have like a, we call it olive leaves, trying to deliver to each other. You want to have that peace. You want to live in a peace. Think about if any either like majority or minority part of people to be protested, and nobody will really live in the peace and harmony. Okay, and we are all connected. Like one part of our life, if it's in a chaos and a trauma, and all our parts will be impacted. Think about if you have a headache, if you have any pains in part of your body, your whole body will not feel comfortable, right? You will suffer as a whole unit. So that's how we will influence each other. So that's why we were all talking about American dreams, like freedom, right? This you need to think about. You need to first have that kind of scope, like we are all connected. Your freedom and others' freedom should all be respected. You should not put your freedom above other people's freedom or put your values over above other people's values. You need respect, even though you obviously feel like, oh, they sucks, they are failures, their value system suck or whatever. You still need to respect them as humans, and that's our first human rights, right? To respect each other and do not hurt each other. So that's my prayer for tomorrow's. Okay, I wish tomorrow will not have any like a big drama or violent things to happen, and I pray for this country and this country to be united, no matter which one. Even though I have obvious I know who I want to vote, right? But for another party, I will still have that kind of peaceful gesture, even though they may be elected. I will not have hatred. I will not have like fears. I want to have like both sides still can work together. They will not protest, how to say, prosecute each other, right? No matter which party get on. So I definitely wish for that and pray for that. And so that's the second part, the belief and value system, okay? And no matter whatever kind of politic views you have, let's all value love, the wisdom, unity, harmony, right? And that's kind of a trust and not just trust but also like respect the diversity, respect the like different opinions and different values, different culture, different religion, different belief and different whatever, right? It's like still respect each other, okay? Live in a peace, and across the countries as well. And that's the second one. The third belief system, it's really believe in your purpose. If you have not found your purpose, discover your purpose, I would encourage you to spend tonight to have that calm meditation time. By the way, normally my meditation, I encourage people to not just similar to my mentor, Tony Robbins. He said, many people are doing the wrong way, right? They just want to say, the meditation should not think about anything and get into like a sleepy state with all this nice music, whatever, right? All those kind of mantras things, get into sleep. I personally, I could not do that. My mind will always think something, but I will think in that kind of I would say in the alpha and the theta, they call that those kind of a state, right? You will get into very creative thinking, actually, very harmoniously thinking state. So actually, that type of thinking is the best, the most effective one. So when you get into peace, into that calmness, into that kind of a positive state, your mind will be very creative, and whatever you think about that time is actually more close to truth than when you're like in a busy state and rushing and your mind is fighting, right? All these kind of negative things coming back, the past, whatever, right? All this kind of like environment influence getting in you. And that's actually not a good time. But when you are fully connect with yourself and into your consciousness, get into that state, because majority of time people are not in that kind of state, right? When you get to that alpha theta kind of a state, your mind, whatever your mind is thinking, is really greater than majority time other time you were thinking. Okay, so I would encourage you to do more meditation and at least calm down yourself, right? If you're not a very good meditator, calm down yourself and to do not other things and to focus on thinking about why. Ask yourself some questions to help you to calm down, like what's your life's meanings about, why you are here, what's your life's like what will make your life feeling more alive, more meaningful, more fulfilling. Ask yourself those questions, and then you maybe want to write down those kind of some sparkles, some inspirations. Write down, and a better way to have your diary or you have your like a journal, right? Have you write down your own journal, and to have that connection time with that wisdom inside of you. Many of us did not know that we have that wisdom inside of us already. We need to connect back to it to get those answers, and to also hear, what kind of wisdom trying to give to you, right? So that's super important to find out your purpose. And sometimes maybe you are not so good at this journey and you may get some like a vague answer, but still good. And you can ask yourself like what make your life meaningful. Think about when you think about it, imagine in the future, right? When you are at the very end of your life, you may not have much time left and you may not have the time to do anything more. So when you review a life, what would you wish you have already done? You already like gave, or you already learned, you already like how you would like to have already um, interacted with this world, with other people. Write down those things and what kind of state you would like to have. Describe that kind of state. Live, like visualize it. Live in that state. And for that kind of ideal state, and for you to feel like super happy, right? Believe in yourself, believe in this world, feel like blessed in this world, and feel like really connected with this world as well. Write down what would you feel and what would you be doing maybe, and what would be you are interacting with other people, right? All these kind of things. Write down some details. What you would be doing, like enjoying it, and what are your passionate things you would be doing, right? And what you would have been achieved. So all these things write down. That will help you to get closer to your purpose. And I know majority of people maybe simple answer is just like my purpose is like here I want to help other people. Many of my coaching clients at the beginning they all have this kind of similar simple answer, like I just want to help other people, right? They want to feel like valuable. They want to feel like their life matters in this world. But when we go through the deeper, like we call like 7 or even 11 levels of purpose discovery, and we get in those deeper motivation, deeper, like everybody actually is really different, depends on our own, really like our experience, right? And our meaning, our purpose is totally different. And even though you say you want to help other people, and how and what, right? Eventually help other people to get what, and what kind of values do you want to contribute, in what kind of a way. All that will be specific and unique for everybody. And so that's why it's very important to you. I would encourage you to go through such kind of journey first by yourself. And if you need really professional coaching support, and you can contact me, okay? So that's the third one, third belief system, okay? And now the fourth one. The fourth one is really believe in what you are doing. And especially actually you need the first three as some foundation for you to do the right things, to really do what is aligned with your purpose, what is aligned with your value system, with your belief, with your like faith, and also aligned with who you are. Like you know who you are, what's your strength, what is your talents, what is your gifts, right? And that you really want to give to this world in your unique specific way. So then now the last step is like believing what you're doing. So after I left the corporate world, I've been doing like abundance coaching, for abundant entrepreneurship and also leadership coaching for 15 years. And for 15 years, I never doubted what I'm doing. And now more and more I believe in what I'm doing. And also, even though I'm like extending my business to different areas now, right? Previously I was more focused on coaching, and now my business expand to in the finance in like industry, and also into education industry. But I'm still doing the similar thing that's aligned with my purpose. It's like I'm not just like, for example, in the finance, I'm not just like selling products or services. I'm more focusing on empowering people. And also in my education kind of a business or partnership as well, I'm not just recommending some like, for example, counseling, education counseling services. I'm more focusing on how to empower people, get the best resources, and that they can fulfill themselves. Then they can get a better like say equipment, better resources, and better platform, and then they can go to where they dream for, and they can also get many different kind of resources that's empowering them. Whatever I'm being recommending to people, it must be like a not just functional, it's also inspirational, it's also empowering, right? And it's really focusing on transforming that person to be a better person. That's the first layer. And then it's like on the top of that, maybe some functions, or maybe some like services, or maybe some products, right? All those things, but fundamentally is helping that person to become a better person and to achieve their dreams and become, let's say, like a more like wealthy in their life and also in their finance, right, and in their education, different parts, and help their whole family, whole like communities as well. So as I recall what I'm doing, I say, wow, even though my business expanded, eventually maybe no matter what I'm doing, I know that this is already what I'm doing is already my lifestyle. No matter, like, even though sometimes I know that, I notice obviously, like, consciously, that when I'm walking outside, when I'm just meet some new persons, right, like new friends, I was encouraging people. I was like spreading or giving that kind of positive energy, inspiring them as well. Because like yesterday, I just met a new friend. It's just a stranger, total stranger, and we chatted just around maybe 20-30 minutes there, like just watching the kids playing whatever. And today she gave me that feedback that she said that you are a very optimistic person and you are very encouraging others. Wow, I was like surprised. Okay, this person, of course, she's also great, right? And she can sense that. She can immediately sense my values. I feel so happy. So doesn't matter if I'm not doing business or I'm just living in my life, a regular daily life. I know that I'm not a person who's being giving my values, and just like to the daily life and to the daily persons around me, whoever I can get in contact with, whoever I can interact with, I give my blessings, I give my energy, I give my empowerment. So that's the best part, right? So believe, that's why I'm now believing what I'm doing, no matter what I'm doing. Believe, because first I believe in myself. I believe in my faith, right? I believe in God, but not the religious God, but the really that universal intelligence God. And I believe in my purpose here is to become a blessing and become that kind of a like abundance, really abundance energy and blessing to other people, to empower and to really enable in enlightenment and enlighten and also empower other people, no matter what I'm doing, right? And so now finally, what I'm doing now, choosing doing, is really like to really help other people, empower them, and with my own gifts and also with my own passion in those areas. So that's a integrated those four quadruples, right? Four parts is really make that whole sum. When you build up this four belief system, you will have your unfalling sun and everlasting sun. Okay, so I hope today you get inspired. Please share under the comment under the video. Let me know which part, maybe what's your aha moment, which part inspired you the most, and what's your takeaway, and especially how from here how you can build up your system. What kind of new, for example, lifestyle or habits you want to introduce to help you become more conscious, to connect with yourself, connect with your faith, clarify. By the way, it's clarify. Okay, clarify and connect with your faith and with your purpose. And then what do you do? Okay, every day, what do you do? How you could be on that kind of a unfolding sun with that kind of energy to really, if you have the whole system, you will have a unlimited energy abundance supplies, because you are not just yourself, you are also expanded. You connected with the other people, and you also connected with the universal intelligence. And that's why you are like, you have the sun inside of yourself. You become that sun. You become an unfolding sun for other people, and that kind of everlasting sun as well. So I hope first you find your own unfolding sun, and then you can become that blessing, become a unfolding sun for other people. That kind of light, that kind of warmth, that kind of energy, that kind of abundance to people. Anyone who get into your life, they have maybe short or long time of interaction, they will all be benefited. Even strangers, even just a one-time interaction will be benefited from your life because of your existence, because of your being. All right, thank you so much for listening to today and watching today's live video, and I would encourage you to join our abundant entrepreneurs if you are very passionate entrepreneurs who want to make a good impact, and also follow us, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we will have more wonderful inspirations and also episode to share with you. Okay, and by the way, this Thursday we will have our masterclass, how to launch your profitable and also impactful online business in 90 days, and at the same time stand out as confident expert and thought leader in your ideal field. Okay, so check our link in our post and we will see you there. Everyone, have a wonderful week and become that unfolding sun for yourself and for other people as well. Okay, we'll see you. Bye bye.